YouTube, I have new merch. Click the link in the description. You can get t-shirts and sweatshirts, and there are 3 different designs. I don't know what else to say.
Can I tell you just a cute story about when I was first streaming?
Please.
Just
Of course.
so when the first time I went on, I didn't have any mods, and there were some pretty bad things said out there. But it's like, I got tough skin. It's like, let it roll. Well, then a bunch of people, the trolls were out, and then I got a bunch of mods, and it was like, great. I got the best mods on Twitch. They're wonderful. My sister comes in, and my sister comes in all the time, but they didn't know it was my sister. And I had my hair down straight. I usually keep it up with, bows, and it was down straight. And she said, "Your hair looks so ugly," and they booted her out of chat. They banned my sister.
No!
So I said, no, she can say that. She can say my butt's too big. She can say anything. She inherited the right to do that. So they had to unban her because they and I call it putting them in the thinking chair. So I've got like a thinking chair little emote thing. And but it was so funny that they said, because I think she texted me. She goes, "I got banned." I said,
who banned my sister?
Yeah. So that's kind of a running joke at my stream that my sister
funny.
banned.
Oh my gosh.
Aww. Yeah, my brothers will watch my stream and they'll like redo their sub. My cousin.
Aww.
I see some of my cousins are not like very immersed in the online world, but they still play video games and they still like kind of know what it is. And they'll just like log right onto Twitch and their usernames are like Maya, where it's their first and last name. And
Oh my god.
Hey,
all of my normie friends are like that
mean?
too.
Like,
it stresses
what's
me out.
up? Yeah.
Or it's like their last name with some numbers or something.
No,
yeah,
literally their whole name.
With just an underscore or something.
Put their social security on the end.
For sure.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. The last 4 digits of their soul.
Okay, wait, I have a question. So simply, when did you start speedrunning? I don't know.
2012.
2012. Okay. How did you take to the speedrunning thing and then the streaming thing? Because I didn't know about speedrunning probably until I met Simply, and I was like, damn, he must be crazy. Like, to play that game over and over and over and over and over, like, I would lose my mind. What did you think when you started doing it?
They didn't know what I was doing. I don't think you knew what I was doing.
I did not know until he was 3rd in the world, and it was my sister happened to be in town. It was December, I remember it, and because he had a job, he was a lifeguard. He had great grades, and so he's in his room chatting with people. I mean, it's like it's all good. And he came down. He goes, "Mom, I'm 3rd in the world," and I'm like, "Great, 3rd in the world, what?"
Yeah.
And then he explains. I said, "Well, what's that?" And then he explained that Mario. And then it's like, and then I got, and then it was like, it caught my interest. So in order not to embarrass him, I made up a name on Twitch and went in to watch him. And so I was.
You didn't know it was her?
Yeah, I didn't know it was her for a bit. There's this person that kept giving me bits and saying stuff.
Yeah, I kept giving him money.
It's like, dude, wait, did you tell him the story of when you scared me? Like, you dressed up at elementary school and kept following me?
Oh, the clown story? Oh, no, I didn't tell him that.
Oh my God.
So my daughter was going to, I traumatized him. My daughter was going to clown school, and it was Halloween. And so I would go and volunteer. And so I said to my daughter, "Make me look like a clown." And so I had pillows stuffed in like I was a really fat clown. And I had the big, long yellow shoes. And I had the nose, the red nose, and so much makeup on. But I didn't speak. Even when I went in to sign in, I wouldn't talk because I knew they would know who I was. So I catch up with Simply. He's doing the parade. They do a whole parade around the school where they're all in their costumes. And I'm behind him, and I'm kind of tapping him on the shoulder. He's looking at me, and I'm tapping him on the other shoulder, and he's looking at me, and I'm following him.
I was so weirded out. I had no idea.
And so we get into his room, and I'm still with him, and I see his locker. It's got his name on it. So I go over and I start messing with it. Like moving the stuff around and this and that. And then I'm tapping him again. And he says, "Clown, will you please go bother somebody else?" And I said,
How old was he?
He was 6 or 7.
Oh.
And he goes, would you go bother somebody else, clown? And I said, Ryan. He goes, Mom. And so he said, why couldn't you just come dressed up as Mom?
Oh my God.
But I followed him around the whole time, and he had no idea, but you should have, Mom.
That's so cute.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's a good way to test if your kid talks to strangers or not. Like stranger danger.
Actually, true.
There you go.
That would have been
There
a
you go.
really good idea.
I watched a video
One of
the
our
other
dogs-
day about that. Like
Was
a
it the little
guy,
kids getting in the ice cream truck.
the guy that walks up with the puppy and he's like, "Do you want to go see all the other ones? I have a bunch of puppies." And the kid just holds the guy's hand and walks away. Like, "What are you doing?" So many kids did that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, these people should rot in hell that harm the vulnerable. That do things like that. I mean, there should be a special place in hell for them
Yep.
to harm a child.
It was a cool video though, because after they went up to the parents at the park and they were like, "Can you give me permission to go talk to your kid and see if he'll come with a stranger?" And the parents were like,
I've
"Yep."
seen that
So they
too.
watched him, yeah, and then the kids go with them, and then after the parents sit them down and they're like, "You cannot do that," you know, which is actually fantastic. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Some
Simply, do you have a worst date story?
Worst date story. I mean, for my first girlfriend, I didn't really like her at first. I just kept going on the dates because I was like, I kind of feel like I need to. You know?
Simply.
What?
Gosh,
How could you?
What a
so
Chad.
so sad.
Hey, at least he was nice and kept going to the
No.
date.
Listen, no,
no.
but hey, I came around. She
Oh,
grew
okay.
on me. It was nice. But
Okay.
okay, the worst date story. It wasn't really a date, but we both had to go back to school, right? We were on break and we lived in like the southern part of the state and the school's up north. So it's a long drive and I was going to drive it myself. So I was like, "Hey, I can drive you back to school. You know, we're going back." She's like, "Okay." So we get in the car and we're driving and a storm happened that morning. It's Minnesota. It's the winter. It's like January. So it's like the worst of the worst. But I thought the storm was like done, like it finished. It wasn't snowing anymore. It was just like there was snow on the ground and shit. But I didn't think the roads were that bad. And I had to get back to school in time for like a meeting. So I was kind of rushing on the highway. There's a highway that just goes straight up. And we were going, I probably should have slowed down. I was going pretty fast. We were having a good time. All of a sudden, she's like, "I think we're sliding." And then we're like, we're sliding. And then before you know it, we're like completely sideways, like sliding on black ice. I didn't realize that the road was like covered in black ice. I thought it was just like wet or something, but it was just pure ice on the road. So we're sliding and then inevitably we hit the ditch in the middle. We're going like 70 miles an hour. And then we start rolling and she just starts screaming and I was just like, "We're rolling." And then I went silent. We rolled a couple of times in the median. Luckily, it was just a bunch of snow that we were rolling in, so it wasn't that bad. And
upside down?
No, we actually landed right side up and
Thank
then
goodness.
called up the people, the towing company and everything. And then we both had like, those things like the
neck
collar.
braces.
Yeah, neck.
Oh
We
my
both had to.
gosh.
We had to wear neck
rolling.
braces. We were actually okay. We were fine.
Damn.
No problems. We definitely could have died. There's like a hella trees on that highway, but it was like a patch that was just snow. So
Oh my gosh.
it wasn't the best experience, but it did bring us closer to each other. So maybe it wasn't that bad, but I probably would have preferred it to not happen because it was pretty scary.
Fair.
Nintendo was shot by skeletons.